What an appropriate and auspicious beginning. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, the symbol of the archetype of the pointing out of your own innate and natural state of enlightenment. Do not be confused by the many stories of Guru Rinpoche's life, many of them disagreeing with each other. I have a favorite life story, Namtar of Guru Rinpoche. High in the sky above North Urgyen, there arose a golden double Vajra. It shone forth with many-colored rainbow light, causing many sentient beings to have a wide variety of experiences. End of story. And in fact, we do. Us sentient beings have a wide variety of experiences. The past 10 minutes. What happened? What has been occurring in the past 10 minutes? Turn to each other, if you would, for a moment, and discuss the past 10 minutes and see if there are any similarities in what happened to the people in this room. No, I mean it. Take a moment. Do this. So how similar have your past 10 minutes been? Not so much, huh?
No.
You are made out of your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions, and your experiences. Your very personality that you have right now is not the same one you had when you were 14. One would hope. It's changed. What changed you? Your experiences, yes? You experience the world through your sense organs, all 6 of them. But how do you do that? You see with your eyes, we say. But when you look at something, you name it. You associate it with all the things you've seen in the past that look like it, with everything you know about it. All that is in the act of seeing, and that doesn't happen in your eyeballs. The cones and rods in your retina perceive, well, the cones, okay, the rods perceive light and dark, shape, and the cones perceive color. And this impulses run through your channels. Got channels from your eyes, circle around here, go down through here, and there's a chakra in the back here where the sensation of the eyeballs is translated into things. Then it goes down through your channels to here, where you form a very quick feeling about the thing, liking or disliking. Some combination of the two. Not in your eyeballs, but in your mind. With your thoughts, you see. not with your eyes. Close your eyes. Imagine a picture of a flower. Can you see that? In your mind's eye? It has color and shape, it has characteristics, whatever flower you've chosen. You're not using your eyes to do that. You're seeing it in your mind. The 3 words of Garabdurji, a text about mind. Like all Dzogchen texts, it begins with homage to the teacher. Do not confuse the archetype of teacherness with the personality talking at the moment. Just as it is important that you don't confuse your own innate Buddha nature with the personality you are manifesting as at the moment. Guru Yoga probably has more misunderstandings than almost any other subject, and yet it is necessary for the transmission of Dzogchen, for the transmission of lineage. When Rinpoche and I were first traveling together and I was translating for him, you know that line, to merge your mind with the teacher? Yeah, well, we had a little oopsie. You see, we tried to do it with our personalities. He got my hot flashes. I was having menopause at the time. And I couldn't eat seafood. He is quite squicked by seafood. And we were both most uncomfortable because instead of both of us merging our minds with the lineage and the essence of teacher, we ended up merging the confusedness of our transitory personalities with each other and giving ourselves both very severe psychic indigestion. It's not Lena the person that you merge your mind with when you merge your mind with the teacher, so that it is possible to transmit nature of mind, which can only be shown mind to mind. It's not little me. What you are doing is recognizing that your own innate Buddha nature and my innate Buddha nature is the same Buddha nature. At the end of a teaching, it's traditional to come up and offer a kata, a white scarf. The word kata means incorruptible, unfuck-upable, unbreakable. It refers to your Buddha nature, which cannot be damaged, no matter how confused you are. When you offer that scarf to the teacher, you're offering the best thing about you. You're giving the totality of your own innate enlightenment. You're offering it to the teacher. And the teacher accepts your offering and then offers it back to you, to acknowledge that it is the same Buddha nature and we share it. So please Don't try to merge your minds with an old leather dyke sitting up here. That will seriously give you indigestion. It's the lineage. It's the transmission. Passed down, teacher to student from beginningless time, that you are invited to participate in. And participating in that is samaya, a relationship of mutual openness and participation. And it's not about whether your personality is able to perfectly participate with my personality, because no way. It's about whether your Buddha nature can rest in comfort with my Buddha nature, and the recognition that it isn't two Buddha natures, but it is simply Buddha nature. So don't get all twisted out of shape about your personality and my personality and his personality and her personality. They're just personalities. They're just passing through. They're all fucked up. It's the nature of personalities to be confused. Don't mind it. Look past that, both inward and outward. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Guru Yoga is very important, but don't confuse it with putting a person on a pedestal. First time they ever made me sit on a throne, and I was wearing my robe skirt. Yeah, somebody may have seen that. And fortunately, I was wearing a pair of boxer shorts. I think they had bright green frogs on them. Because they built a throne for me as a translator, I was with Rinpoche, out of two futons stuck together with a cloth over them. I didn't want to sit there. I don't get to sit there. I don't want to sit there. Anyway, and then Rinpoche's like, sit down. Oh. So, in all my confusion and resistance, I managed to fall upside down between the two futons, with my short little legs kicking in the air and my bright green boxer shorts sticking out and my robes over my head.
Is there footage of this?
Unfortunately, if there is, I haven't found it, or I've stuck it up on Facebook as a teaching on Guru Yoga. So yes, Dzogchen requires Guru Yoga. But don't be confused by your personality or mine in the practice of this. Look past that. Tawa Longchen Rabjam Ying. The view is Longchen Rabjam. This is right, what I'm telling you is right out of the text. In the Guru Yoga, we take view, meditation, and action, and we associate them with names of teachers of the lineage, so that we can see that our mind in meditation, our practice, is not separate from the lineage. So when we say Tawa Longchen Rabjam Ying, and Logchen Rabjam means infinite, vast expanse. Tawa is the view. The view is infinite, vast expanse. This is also the name of a teacher in the lineage. The lineage is infinite, vast expanse. Gompa Kensei Osar Ying. The meditation is rays of infinite loving kindness. The aliveness of mind itself, of infinite vast expanse, the vitality of that is the nature of great-hearted open-heartedness, the nature of bodhisattva, which literally means Buddha consciousness. Bodhi, Buddha, thus gone beyond. Sita, consciousness. That infinite vast expanse, which is the true nature of your own mind, is vital and alive with bodhisattva, with light rays of infinite love, open-heartedness, great-heartedness, not pity, openness. This is the vitality of the universe. Sopa Jalwe Nuguing, the action is the deeds of the bodhisattva. The dance of phenomena is the dance manifesting as open-hearted, great-hearted action. Only we sentient beings in our deep doo-doo of confusion don't see it that way. Oops. All phenomena is the dance of Buddha, enlightening Buddha. Even if what we see it as is a nice cup of coffee. So you see, Guru Yoga is not separate from view, meditation, and action. It is not separate from your own mind. And the relationship of Buddha nature with Buddha nature is samaya. Inherent, unbreakable, natural open awareness. For one who practices in this way, there is no doubt about enlightenment in one lifetime. It's easy. Maybe it's a little bit too easy. Because we're so busy having a hard time.
Nope.
Hard times are entertaining. Look at the last book you read. There was conflict in the plot, wasn't there? Yeah, we're very entertained by that. But even if not, there is still happiness. Ah la la, that's Tibetan for oh wow. So the point here is, in order to recognize your own Buddha nature, you have to let go of your distractions a little bit. Just for a minute, you can have them back. There is a practice, which is a traditional nundro done, a Dzogchen nundro. It's contained in the Rushan, and more details are available in the text Yeshe Lama. But traditionally, the inner mind nundro is done in order for this text to make sense. Yep, I'm about to give you another Nundro. Bad news is you gotta do it. Good news is there's no 100,000s. It just takes a few minutes. In this Rushen, in the inner mind Rushen, there is a teaching of the body, a teaching of the speech, and a teaching of the mind. The teaching of the body is all about physical position, how to sit. Most of y'all kind of know that already. That you have to have your channels in alignment to avoid getting side effects, right? That's not new to anybody. And you know how to cross your legs or sit in a chair. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about how to cross your legs or how to sit in a chair. What I will say is either way, don't have your weight on your tailbone. Your weight needs to be further forward, where your thighs meet your butt. That crease there, that should be the center of down. So if your weight is back on the back of your buttocks, it will curve your spine in such a way that it will lead to finding problems type depression. You know that mood where you can see everything wrong? Well, that's what happens from that, so don't do it. It's unpleasant. When you have your weight adjusted that way, you'll find that your back will naturally hold straight. You all know about making a double chin, tucking your neck back a little bit, leaving the shoulders loose. This is more important in Dzogchen and less important in Tantra. But you want to have your teeth slightly apart. So you stick the sides of your tongue, a little bit in between them, but relaxedly, not emphasizing it, just a little bit. And your tongue lies with the tip right behind the front teeth on the roof of your mouth. But the sides sort of hold your teeth apart just a little. And your lips don't completely close either. This is important for this practice, although it is done slightly differently in other practices. The main point, however, is your eyes. See, Trekchö is all about attention. Trekchö is what the meditation of Dzogchen is called. It means cutting through. It cuts through illusion, delusion, confusion. Your attention follows your eyeballs. You cannot look at that thangka without thinking about it. Try. Look at the thangka with your eyes without thinking a single thought about the thangka. Look at that thangka now. You see how you're paying attention wherever you look? So, from beginningless time, we sentient beings have been looking in front of us and behind us, to the left of us and the right of us, above us and below us. We look in the 10 directions, and we look in the 3 times, past, present, and future. So how to get you to look in another direction that's not one of those? There's an eyeball trick. See, your mind isn't in one of those directions. If you want to find your mind, you will have to pay attention in another direction, which is not any of the usual directions, like past, present, future. like left, right, up, down, inside, outside. It's another direction altogether. And the point of this Nundro is to gently guide your attention to look in another direction altogether. To do that, you have to let go with the muscles that control the lens of your eyes. You have to relax those muscles. Now, those of you wearing glasses have a great advantage. You can take them off. This will immediately cause things to be blurry and make it much easier for you to relax the focus muscles of your eye lens. There's these muscles that the lens attaches to. You gotta relax them. So what you do with your eyes, and this is the key to Trekchö, is you let the line of your gaze follow your nose outward and down. And so you find a point where your eyes naturally will focus. Found your point? You're looking at your point? Without moving your eyeballs, stop looking at the point. Let your vision blur. Unfocus your eyeballs. Leave your eyelids about half open, not all the way closed, but not all the way open. Allow them to blink whenever they want to. Don't try to restrain your blink reflex. But do let your vision blur. If you do not blur your vision, this is much less likely to work for you. With your vision blurred, open the orifice of your attention. From beginningless time, you have paid attention to what you are thinking, what you are feeling, and what you are perceiving with your sense organs. Each of these attentions is a point focus of attention, just as when you look at this or that, it is a point focus of vision. Let go. Release the point focus of your eyes and the point focus of your attention. If you are feeling slightly agitated, bouncy, when you try to do this, then take a deep breath in through your nose and blow it out slowly through the pursed lips of your mouth like this. That will settle the chi in your channels and smooth out its movement. Your thoughts, your thinking. You think in your mind, yes, the mind is the thinker of the thoughts, the feeler of the feelings, the doer of the deeds, the perceiver of the perceptions. Let your attention open into the totality of mind itself. Sometimes it helps to use a picture. Imagine an umbrella. See the image of the umbrella in your mind's eye. Visualize it. Where is that picture? Do not use your intellect for this purpose. It's the wrong tool. Feel for it. All thoughts occur in mind without specifically thinking about mind. Perceive mind with mind. Let your attention relax and expand into the natural awareness of mind itself. The tendency will be to think about mind and pay attention to what you're thinking about mind. When you catch yourself doing that, take another breath in through your nose, blow out through your mouth. And unfocus your attention on all the thises and that's of thoughts and feelings. Make a picture in your mind's eye with your imagination of a sailing ship. A picture of a sailing ship on the ocean. Do you see that picture? With your mind? Now gently allow your attention to expand from the picture, the image of the sailing ship on the ocean, to the infinite openness in which that picture exists. Mind looking. Open awareness, aware of itself. For some people, it is helpful to examine both inside their body and outside their body, to try to see where the picture is. So with your attention, examine your body, inside your body, in minute detail, to see if you can find any location whatsoever in which an image of a sailing ship on the ocean is. Start at the tips of your hair. Work your way down to your toes, carefully checking to see if the image is inside there anywhere. Again, don't intellectualize this, do it experientially. If, after careful examination, you find no place within your body that is mind, then look outside your body. In front or behind, above or below, to the left or the right. Look until the not finding is certain. This takes your attention to the vanishing point of mind, to an openness of attention, which is not resting on anything. And in that completely relaxed, open awareness, words, thoughts, feelings and perceptions arise and vanish without limitation. And in this completely natural and relaxed open awareness, there is nothing that can be said about it. Colors, shapes, even the very idea of center or edge. These are thoughts that arise in mind, dissolve in mind, mind itself. There really is nothing you can say about it. Relax and relax again. Let your mind settle naturally into an open awareness of itself. This openness, this infinite open vastness of mind itself was infinite open vastness before you ever noticed it, and will remain infinite open vastness when you become distracted from noticing it. Your attention or your distraction have no effect whatsoever. Upon mind itself. To relax in this way is tawa, the first word of the 3 words of Garab Dorji. It is sometimes translated as view, but that is an inaccurate translation. You see, it's your mind. You are your mind. There is no you looking at your mind. That dichotomy, that disassociation that we live with as sentient beings, where we feel as if everything is somewhere outside of ourselves, even our mind, because we look at our mind and it's like a view, looking out the window at the view. Only it's not, is it? You're gazing into your own eyes here. You are this infinite open awareness. And you always have been, and you always will be. Nothing to be accomplished, is there? Your attention wiggles. Your thoughts are moving and changing. Your personality comes and goes, is born, is dying. This natural open awareness of mind itself, unborn, undying, neither here nor there, not something you have to create or acquire. It's simply your own mind. And this is the first word of Garab Dorji. Tawa. To recognize your own true nature is the first vital point. Tawa Longchen Rajaming, infinite vast expanse. Your mind is not limited. Your thoughts are limited. You can only think in a language you know. There's lots of things you can't think because you don't have words to think them in. That's why so much of the Tibetan vocabulary gets left in Tibetan. That's why I leave tawa as tawa rather than translate it as view. Because the moment I say view, it's like I'm here looking at a view. I'm creating that disassociation that plagues all of us sentient beings. Where here I am looking at the view. Here I am looking at my mind as if I wasn't my mind, and it was something over there, and I had to somehow stabilize it and acquire it and make it hold still. No. Look at your mind with your mind. There's nothing there to move. It can't get away. You are that. How can you get away from yourself? You can't. So mind looking. Not mind looking at mind. That's already in the vocabulary of it, in the way it's phrased, adding in that chronic disassociation that we live with. Let that go. Put that down for a moment. You don't need it. Yar Tawa. Not Yasi Tawa, Yar Tawa. Like a pirate. Yar, yar. Yeah, but you're going to remember it now. So there is absolutely no danger of your losing Tawa. No matter how fucked up you get on a given morning, Tawa is completely unaffected, infinite, vast expanse. Stuff moves in space. Space isn't moving. That's an analogy. We have a word in Tibetan, Nangka. It means sky space. It's the word for sky and it's the word for space. We got to keep me awake, otherwise I'll go to sleep while I'm sitting here talking to you and become incoherent. Jet-lagged llama. Do you have any questions about Tawa? Do you have any questions about your homework? Yeah, you get homework in these retreats. This Nundro I gave you, the inner mind Rushen, where you sit with your channels in alignment, you unfocus your eyes, you take your glasses off, you let your eyes go unfocused, and you actually go through the process of trying to find where your thoughts are happening. Jan, you're a musician. Are you up to telling them about how to do it with sound?
Any musicians? Oh, okay. So it's much easier for me this way. And that is to, in your mind's ear, listen to a tune. And as you're listening to that tune, look with your perception, with your feeling, and see if you can notice where it's playing. And as you do that, go ahead and create your own tune, any old thing that comes in. And notice where that tune arises. Where does it come from? Where is it playing? And remember the first tune that was maybe one you'd heard before, where did it go when you weren't listening to it? Same 3 questions. Different perception.
You can do this with a visualized image, an audialized tune, a tactilized touch sensation, a tongualized flavor, look to see. All of these are thoughts, kinds of thoughts that you're creating in your mind to work with. Look to see where the thoughts are coming from, not what in the past inspired them, but physically, actually, spatially, where did they come from to arise in your mind? Where were they before then? Where do they go when you're done thinking them? What are they made of? Where are they right now? So it's 3 questions and a 4th bit. Where does it come from? Where does it occur? Where does it go when you're done thinking it? And what is it made of? Regardless of whether you think in pictures, in musical notes, or in words, find your mind. Your mind is the thinker of the thoughts. By looking to see where the thoughts come from, where they occur, where they go, and what they are made of, this will take your attention and shift it to look in a direction that is neither inside nor outside, neither to the right nor the left, above nor below, in front nor behind. And when your attention shifts in this another direction, it expands, it opens, and mind directly perceives itself. It is possible to allow your attention to remain open while thinking. It is easier to relax past thinking or to put your thinking in neutral gear where it's not logical and linear, because that's awfully distracting. When your thinking is making sense to you, the way it makes sense is by your paying attention to it. So it's often easier if you're working with thoughts and words to make them random. Questions on homework? Yes.
You introduced this now with visualized, audialized, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Can it also be done with, for example, I was feeling the edge of the so not a tactilized, but the actual.
No, don't do it with something that is actually a physical sensation in the moment. Feel the edge and then imagine the feeling of the edge. Take your hand away from the edge, but imagine the feeling of the edge. Mm-hmm. Where is it when you're imagining it? Mm-hmm. You're finding your imagination. Your imagination is your mind. Your imagination isn't something other than your mind. If you try to do it with an actual of this moment, like the texture, if I try to do it with the texture of brocade while moving my hand across brocade, I find it in my fingertips.
But
That's where the sensation is when I'm doing this, or so it will appear to me.
so it appears like that to me as well. But my experience with doing this is that while I have the clear experience of the touch in my fingertips, I can't locate my fingertips.
You're weird. I'm just teasing you. It may work for you. It is not traditional and I've not heard of it before, but if it's working for you, go ahead, be experimental. You're a Westerner. Airplanes and ice cream. Tibetans would never have thought of them. As my teacher says. That's a quote from Wangdo Rinpoche. He's very impressed by ice cream and airplanes. Yes.
Yeah, to blur the vision, can one also put on the reading glasses, because then for me it blurs.
No, it's better to learn to do it without. If you cannot get it to blur, you can try putting on the reading glasses, but don't rely on them. The blurring of the vision has to be a relaxation. It's not just that things look blurry. It's actually a relaxation of the lens muscles, which will lead to a relaxation of an internal attention muscle. I don't quite know what to call that, but there is something that you use, like when you're really focused on math problems, like you're doing math word problems. Remember homework?
Yeah.
So when you really have your attention focused on that, there's a muscle you tighten. You got to learn to relax that muscle. Now, sometimes, for some people, doing a great deal of intensive focus and then letting go will make it easier. So if you have trouble relaxing the muscle of your attention, then do a very intricate yidam visualization and sadhana. And that is so tight and specific that when you get to the point that it all dissolves, you're so relieved not to have to maintain that anymore that you just like, and you sort of flop into trekcha. That's how it works. How many of you are doing a yidam practice or sadhana? So there is a place in your sadhana where this comes, not the homework I gave you, but where sitting in trekcha meditation arises. After it all turns back into the seed syllable and goes poof. For many of us, the tension of an attempt to do the visualizations of a sadhana perfectly will tire the muscle of attention so that it will then more easily relax. And since mind is not directly perceivable with point focus, having that let go is important. Other questions? Yes.
I wonder why you call this a nundro. I have a quite different idea from nundro.
Oh, there are a number of different kinds of nundros. There's the ordinary nundro, which is the study of Sutrayana and Lam Rim. There's the extraordinary nundro, which is 500,000 practices, each special. That's the tantric nundro. And then there's a number of Dzogchen nundros. This is one of them. There's others. They are very powerful. They're not tantric nundros. So they're specifically given in regard to Dzogchen and Trekcha. Just as the 500,000 practices is a tantric nundro and is specifically given usually before the practices of Tantra. And the Lam Rim is a sutra nundro and is generally given before the scholarly teachings of Sutrayana. So each aspect of the path, of the different paths in Buddhism, have their own nundros that are adapted, and nundros are preliminaries. They're exercises that make the main practice go better. Other questions? Yes.
What is Rushin? What's the meaning of Rushin in this connection?
Nundro?
You use the word Rushin.
Yes, it means nundro. It's it's what the Dzogchen nundros get called. They're called rushens.
Thank you.
Other questions on this?
Yeah. Does one need to stop this exercise? Well, when you look for this, the mind, and it's not inside, not outside, can you continue in this? Because you say it's in Mundra, so it's...
Yes, you do stop it. It does complete. It's complete when it has served the purpose of opening your attention. so that mind does directly perceive itself, even just a glimpse. So once mind is able to perceive itself, you don't have to do that anymore. Unless you have a bad day, in which case, and you can't slide into the view and you're all that. You know those days? So then you do a little bit of that and it will often bring you back to the ability to perceive Tawa as Tawa. In the beginning, it will feel like a view. It'll feel like there's a you looking at it. And that will continue to get subtler and subtler. When we talk about stabilizing trekcha, that's what's referred to. It is stable. There's nothing you have to stabilize. But your disassociation makes it seem to you to be unstable. So when you are no longer separating yourself from your mind, when you no longer have the dichotomy of a perceiver and a perceived in trekcha, then there's no question of stabilizing and not stabilizing.
So who the heck notices that? Sorry.
Exactly.
Funny.
Other questions on that? Yes.
Yeah, I just noticed that I got kind of stuck in the words. This trekcha, I guess it's Tibetan word. You explained it in the beginning, and now I'm stuck with trekchen in English. So
Cutting through.
Okay.
It cuts through your belief systems, your goes without sayings, the stuff you trip over, your neuroses, it cuts through all of that, which is why it's called cutting through. In specific, it cuts through the illusion of duality, what I call disassociation, where instead of being and recognizing that you are an experience of this moment, you think there's a you that's having an experience of this moment separate from the experience of this moment. Oops.
Can you give an example
Of,
that cutting through?
sure, only not in words.
Do it.
Do it with me. Align your channels. Relax. Here. Beyond time and space. Phenomena. Thoughts. Feelings. Sensations, perceptions. Arise and dissolve. utterly lacking in substance or continuity. Form as emptiness. Emptiness dancing as form with no thing moving. Open, aware, vital and creative. Not just a big dead old nothing. Bright. Bright with the transparent light of awareness. And as such, infinitely creative. And all the infinite creations of thoughts, feelings, perceptions, arising in mind as mind, dissolving in mind, when there is no need to grab or reject. For there is neither a grabber nor a grabbed. The dance of stillness. Mind sees itself. In all its infinite openness, in all its bright vitality, in all its lively creativity. The dance of form as feeling, the dance of feeling as emptiness. All phenomena unconstrained, isness pervades itself. Like that. Yes.
Beeldje, dus het tv-serie Deco in Duits. Mag ik u kussen? Dat is Belgian TV. May I kiss you? Dat is Belgian.
Other questions? There you are, yes.
Hello.
Hi.
I wanted to share something just before this, and it was funeral very much, of course, in synchronicity with what you just presented us to. That as a child, I remember sitting by a window of a moving train and following everything with my eyes, like each tree and car and naming it and getting almost headache. And then one moment just finding like this peace in movement. And it so happened now I go dance very often.
Yes.
And sometimes, I wouldn't call it this like a super dance or something, because I don't know what that is. But when I dance, it's like a group of people, they call it 5 rhythms. We just meet up and dance for 2 hours and then we just say some stupid things and go home. So basically we just come to dance. And sometimes I just get in this mode of just whirling around myself. And then in that movement find this, like
Yes.
everything just blurs and it's very peaceful and it's, you can explore your body in a different way and
There is a Nundro of dancing. Who's going dancing tonight? You want me to give it to you as homework? While dancing, find the stillness in the movement. In each move, there is a point of balance that is still. Find it while dancing. It's a dynamic stillness. It is completely the same in every moment, in spite of the change of physical position, and it is completely different in every moment. Find the stillness in the movement. So anyone who was planning to go dancing tonight after this, go right ahead. Are there other questions? Then let me return for a few minutes to the text. If you decide to go for it with all of you, all of yourself, all of your enthusiasm, there is absolutely no doubt about enlightenment in one life. But that is if that is the one thing you want. If you have lots of wants, and you're trying to balance them all out, you want to have a baby, and you want to get enlightened, and you want to have a career, and you want to have stuff, right? Like, so you have all these wants, then it is not a guarantee in one life, but it will still make your life a damn sight easier than without it. That's what they mean by, but if not, there is still happiness, ah la la. You see, if you practice Dzogchen, well, first of all, you've all noticed that life is like shit happens. I mean, it does. There's no way around it. At the least of it, you're going to get old, and that's full of shit. So, if you practice Dzogchen, even just in your spare time while trying to raise a family and have a career and have a viable relationship and maybe have a hobby or two, our lives get pretty full, you know? If you just turn your attention to this daily on a regular basis, when the shit happens, you will have a greater resiliency to weather it, for you'll be able to see through, to some extent, the terrible story you're telling yourself about the shit that just happened. About how it's all your fault and you're a terrible person because it happened to you. You know that story? If you know what that story is made of, it won't catch you as hard. Do you understand what I'm pointing at here? It'll still catch you, but not with the same level of catchedness that people who have not experienced nature of mind and turned their attention to nature of mind on a regular basis experience. Yes, you can still get depressed. But you know how when you're depressed you think it really is like that? That's the layer on top that this peels off. You will be less trapped, not that you won't have hopes and fears, but you will be less trapped in taking your hopes and fears with utter seriousness. Yes, you will still continue to think stupid things, and many of the things you think will really bother you. But if you have practiced Trekchö regularly, you won't quite as strongly believe everything you think while you think it. Oh, you'll still fall in. I'm not telling you you're not going to fall into some crazy story you're telling yourself about how terrible you are or how mean somebody was to you or yada, yada, yada. But there's going to be a subtle increasing transparency to it the more you practice. You see, your thoughts are transparent. Last night, remember I showed you about looking at your fingerprints and then looking through your hands at me? Some of you were there.
Yeah.
Those of you who weren't there, give it a try. Put your hand with your fingers spread in front of your face and look at me through your fingers. You'll find you can see me quite clearly through your fingers. Now, focus your eyes on your fingerprints. While you focus your attention only on your fingerprints, you can't see me at all. But just a change of focus of attention, of eye focus, and you can see me quite clearly through your fingers. When you practice open awareness, openness of attention, not thing-lookingness of attention, not thing-paying attentionness of attention, and you get used to doing that, you will find it easier to see through your thoughts even while you're thinking them. And they won't wank you around so much. They still will a little bit. Unless you decide you're going to go for it and this is the one thing you want in life. And then take yourself off, leave your home and family, go off, find a cave or a wild place and do nothing but practice. But if that's not how you want to do it, it still works. That's the cool thing about Csikszentmihalyi and Dzogchen. So yes, you can have a life and a career and some babies and a couple of hobbies and maybe a lover and, whatever you're going to fill your life with. You just gotta let your attention open every day. 5 minutes. And over time it works. Questions on this, because it's a really important point. Yes.
Yeah, you gave this teaching 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was there, and,
Uh-huh.
and it was really awesome.
Did you practice?
I try. I try every day.
That's all you need to do. Now, there's a problem with trying. It's tight. Instead of trying, relax every day.
Yeah.
It's not like a bird dog pointing at a squirrel to look at the view. Tawa. It's like sliding into a hot bath. Yar, Tawa.
But it's like the weirdest thing, man. It's like, you know, in meditation, it goes really well, you know, surprisingly well. But it's like you say, you know, then out of meditation, then all these things come back and sort of, and you're just looking at it like, what the hell? Like it's sort of, I can sort of see that it's not true, but in the meantime it just...
But still catches you sometimes.
Yeah, it just goes on, you know.
Yeah,
It's like a trip.
it is like a trip. It's called samsara.
Yeah.
Bad drugs. Keep going. You're already beginning to experience the loosening of your grasp on the illusion of reality. See, your reality is whatever you think it is in the moment. That's the reality you're experiencing. So you're always telling yourself a story about what's going on. And that story is your reality of the moment. Once you can see a little bit through the stories while you're telling yourself, they won't quite so hard trap you into that reality that you're making up anyway. Yeah? Takes a while. The trick, there's a word in Mahamudra. How many of you are Kargyu lineage here? So in Mahamudra, Laktong, we call it direct seeing. It's very much the equivalent of Trekcha, direct seeing, cutting through. We're pointing at the same thing. The more you are able to do Laktong in Mahamudra is where you begin to be able to meditate while thinking instead of meditating instead of thinking. And since you will be thinking, right? I mean, you will. You're not going to stop thinking. So you need to be able to practice while you think. That's why Laktong, Trekcha, is so important. It does not have to be instead of thinking. When you see what the thoughts are made of clearly, then you can think anything you want and still at the same time see nature of mind. Now you're still disassociated at this point. There's a you seeing mind and you're not realizing that you are mind. But you're less troubled by what you think. That doesn't mean you don't think. You still think and feel. You don't want to stop thinking and feeling. This is the creativity of natural mind. The vitality of the universe. We're not going for Darth Vader trying to destroy all life in the universe to make it be still nirvana. We're trying to see what samsara is made of. Infinite open awareness in all its vitality. vitality and aliveness, dancing with the phenomena of thoughts, feelings, and perceptions, none of which are made of anything other than infinite open awareness. No conflict. No separation between samsara and nirvana. Natural mind in all its dancing vitality. There is not a single thing which moves. See that? Did I give you a Dorji last time? A little Dorji?
2 years
I
ago.
did, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
How many of you lost them?
I still have
It's okay, I'll give you new ones tomorrow. Other questions? Well, we're at about time anyway, it's 9:30.
Time for dance.
Are you satisfied for tonight? The more attention you put into your homework, whether it's going dancing or sitting on your cushion. How many artists have I got here? Visual artists. For you visual artists, I'll give you another piece to do. Oh, maybe over breakfast in the morning, or if you're going out partying tonight, you can do it tonight. Shift your vision between objects and the space around the objects. Just shift your attention as you go about. Don't do this while driving, please. Between objects, your cat, your coffee, your television, whatever objects enter into your life tonight, and the infinite open sky around them. Practice shifting your attention between the objects and the space they inhabit. And when you shift your attention to the space, all the space, not just this way, but all the space below, all the space above. For you visual artists, it's equivalent to the dancing one. Find the stillness in the dancing, find the space around the objects. Yes?
How's the dorje relating to the open space, the open...
It's a reminder of practice. I'll show you tomorrow. The dorji is used as a tool.
And as it also has to do something with...
That which is so open, it contains not, which is so empty, it contains not even space. Therefore, it is utterly hard, nothing can penetrate it. That's the symbol. You can't break the sky. You can pollute the atmosphere, but you can't break the sky. No matter how hard I strike space, space is utterly unaffected. This is an analogy. The dorji is the symbol of the unbreakableness of open awareness. Your attention, your thoughts, your feelings all wiggle about all over the place. Pay attention here, pay attention there. Your mind is utterly unaffected by what you're paying attention to. And you will discover this if you repeatedly look and see if it's still there. And if anything changed it. So next time you're really depressed, look and see if your mind's still there and if it's affected in the least. Not your personality. Open awareness. Nge Wandi Nyur Duda Che Chi Sa